So our conversation that we had in our interview was with a fellow ward member, and we just talked about the roles and the responsibilities of marketing, and it developed into a really nice discussion about everything that it entails, as far as like what they liked, what they disliked, what they expected, advice, and we even talked about certain businesses that I have right now and how we could apply that marketing to my business, and it was really beneficial and helpful, and I really appreciated the interview, and it kind of opened up my eyes to the fun and exciting world of marketing. Okay, so firstly, just curious, what company did you work for? Like, tell me about it.
I worked for Arthur Andersen, which later turned to Andersen. They changed the name.
Mm-hmm.
And I started off as a marketing analyst, and I moved up to senior marketing manager.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it was really great. It's a professional services marketing position because they do accounting and tax, so it's professional services as opposed to consumer products.
Gotcha.
And so we basically supported all the partners in whatever they were doing to support the companies they worked for.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. There you go. So where did that transition? You said you started just a marketing analyst. How did what took that transition there to get to that top level?
So you mean what qualities?
What was the process? Like, what did you have to do, and how long did that take? And
I moved up pretty quickly. I was in the company for 5 years, and so in those 5 years, I moved up quickly. And I think that you basically have to work hard, and in a company like that, in any of the big corporations, you're going to work more than 8 hours a day.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just a given, especially when you're hired with an MBA. That's my background, and I think they expect a lot out of you. And there's so much competition just with everybody else that's around you. You've got to really show, that you're able to do whatever it takes. You have to be creative and an outside of the box thinker, and that was really key. I think that was one of the biggest things. I wasn't afraid to do things that were different.
Yeah.
I kind of pushed on that because being in a professional services firm, things were more traditional. It's kind of like working for a lawyer, as opposed to working for Apple. And so you kind of have to push these new innovative thoughts onto partners that have been there for a while and do things a certain way. And they're all accountants, so they're all, in the box thinkers. So I think that was another thing, being able to get along with others and work with everyone is another thing. And also being alert to the needs of the people that you're working for.
Gotcha.
So everyone has a job description. But if you are alert to what may be going on outside of the job description, and you're there putting in your ideas, putting in the time, I think that is what helped as well.
Gotcha. That's good to know. It's pretty impressive. Moving up that fast.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, definitely. Just talking about innovative ideas, that was an important part. Give me an example of an innovative idea in this industry.
The best example I have is I worked for one of the partners who did so the firm was broken up into you have your healthcare, your not-for-profit, your technology. So they do that so the partners that are doing accounting or any of the advisory work for these clients know that industry, because these are professionals who have studied accounting and law and tax, that kind of thing, and then they have to understand the industry that they're working for. So these partners become part of a niche into each industry. So one of the industries that I was supporting was the not-for-profit. And usually not-for-profit groups are more conservative. There's not a ton of money in it. They don't have enough money to be able to afford big projects from consulting firms like ours, because ours, it's a huge consulting firm that charges a lot of money. So whatever they do for us is really, they try to minimize it, otherwise they're spending too much money. So the partner that we had was trying to sell his work. And in order to sell that work, what usually happens is you have a group, the partner and the people that work for him, create a proposal. And in that proposal, they're addressing the needs of, let's say United Way was one of the people we worked with. So United Way had 5 needs that they needed to have done, and what they would do is send out a proposal to all of the accounting firms and say, bid on this proposal. And so normally the proposals are given back in some kind of, like book format, with the traditional little sayings that everybody has. It's always the same. You could literally shuffle up all of the accounting firms, mix the names up, and they're all the same. A little bit of difference in corporate culture, but they're basically all the same.
Gotcha.
And so you need to differentiate yourself. So I was really fortunate to work with the graphic department in our group, who was also really outside the box, and she was amazing at what she did. And so we decided to try and convince the not-for-profit group to do multimedia presentation instead of as a book. So that in and of itself, for the not-for-profit, let alone for the professional services group in and of itself, for a not-for-profit sector, that's like way out there. And fortunately, we had a partner who was young, and he thought, you know what, this might work. And it's not going to cost him anything extra, and it's not going to cost United Way anything extra. It was our coming up with this proposal that was on the wall, speaking to people in a dynamic way. And to get them used to that, and to get them being comfortable with presenting in that way, was really different. I mean, usually when they present, they'll give you their little book, and then on the wall is this PowerPoint presentation, which with a bajillion words.
Exactly.
And
that's something we've gone over in business class.
Exactly. And what do they tell you?
Pictures and like less than 5 words.
Exactly. And they don't get it. These partners who have done their MBAs, who have been through school, they jam, so many words into these PowerPoints, and we took all that away. And he went for it, and it was successful.
That's really awesome.
So what they teach you is true.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. I'm sure my teacher would like to hear that.
Yes, you gotta tell them.
So you talk about the medium was like that they would present it through the books, right? Like you said. So your new the way you did it was through more like defined, well-designed like PowerPoint and presentation like that.
It was actually multimedia, so it was actually moving. So it wasn't like just a PowerPoint that's pretty stagnant. It was moving. So I didn't know how to do that. That's why this graphic artist that I worked with was amazing.
Gotcha.
And we used ideas that were totally different. Pictures that you don't normally use, because they always use the same stock photography of accountants working with other people, and it's the same stuff. We use pictures that were totally different.
Like what?
So I so long ago. We had I wish I could remember the concept. I'm not going to remember the concept, but for example, it was a flower. So way out of the box. And it was addressing the flower through the needs of United Way. And I literally, I'd have to go pull out my stuff to remember the concept.
But I get the idea. Just grabs their attention.
Exactly.
Gives them
a flower for accounting. It's that kind of thing. It was way out there.
Gotcha. But it worked.
It worked.
How would you say that like you said, you talked about got an MBA. How would you say that helped you with your marketing get to that point? How beneficial was that?
I did my MBA at George Washington University, and it's right in the middle of DC. So a lot of the people that I was studying with were actually businessmen that were doing their executive. I don't know if you've ever heard of that executive MBA program.
Okay.
They are people who are working, but just hadn't had a chance to get their MBAs, and they need it because to keep moving forward, you have to get your MBA. So they do it in 1 year at night school. So they do their job, and most of these people were working really heavy jobs, and then they go to school to get their MBA, and they do it in a year. So I was working with a lot of these people. In fact, the man who hired me after we graduated was someone who was in my group.
Gotcha.
Who was studying with me. So it was a great example of being, working with other people and them seeing how you work and being hired because of that.
Gotcha.
But working with people that were already in the industry and being in an environment that was very dynamic, being in DC, things were elevated up a level. I'm sure that you can get that in other universities. I'm not saying that you can't find that.
Yeah.
But particularly for where I was, it made a difference.
So did you say that the main value of benefit of an MBA is really just, I mean, you need it for definitely to move forward, like you said, but like probably the biggest value you got from it was just the connections and the ability to interact with professionals.
Yeah, I think that is very important. It's not the only important thing. I would say that it was also important to go up that extra level. Undergraduate work, you know, it doesn't really matter what your degree is in. You know, if you're very diligent and you work hard in whatever it is that you choose to work in, it sets you up for your master's. I strongly recommend everyone get their master's, no matter what it is, whether it's MBA or whatever it is.
Gotcha.
Because it just elevates you that much higher in knowledge and studying deeper into whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a combination of connections, meeting people, interacting. A lot of graduate school work is casework. So you're given a real case study and you're put into a group like you would in an office, and you have to resolve whatever it is that they tell you to resolve for this case. And then at the end, you find out what was the real story.
Yeah.
And that was very, very hands-on kind of experience. So I think it's a combination of different things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's good enough because, you know, I'm thinking about my career and everything, and I'm definitely going to go into business. So I'm just trying to, you know, get a feel for what to do.
Well, you've got a good example in your dad, too. I mean, my husband and I were able to talk to him. He's got a very innovative way of thinking. And I haven't had a chance to talk to your mom about what she studied too much yet, but I'm sure, you know. Yeah. So it's you've got a great, you should ask them questions. I know whenever I try to tell things to my kids, they're like, well, you know, Mom. But learn from your parents. They know a lot more than you think. And especially somebody like your dad who has, you know, completely done something scary, which is being an entrepreneur. You know, and that's not always successful initially, but you got to keep at it. So learn from them. Okay.
Great advice. Last thing, what like pleasantly surprised you, or what did you enjoy about about marketing, and what was something that you didn't enjoy about the job?
I don't know that there's anything I didn't enjoy.
Or something like you didn't expect.
I don't know that there was anything I didn't expect either. Maybe it's because whatever I do, I go into it with an open mind. There are things that you come against that are hard. And the same man that hired me, he was hard to work with. He was a good, intelligent man, but he was hard to work with. And I don't know if that makes much sense. But I learned from him. And I think that was one of my biggest lessons that I try to tell my kids. You are going to come up, you know, against awful teachers, and maybe awful is not the right word. Teachers that you may not see eye to eye with. Maybe that's
just don't click.
You don't click. You don't see eye to eye. You just see things totally differently. And yet, if you are open and you get beyond that place of, kind of in a spiritual speaking way, the natural man, and you look for that person's special traits, you will always win. Always, because every single one of us, and this is a good way of seeing how spiritual kind of blends with the natural man, is that everyone has something special. Even, you know, the person who you would think, I'm not going to get near that person. That person has something special. And I learned from this man, even though literally, like, there were times I had to swallow my tears as how bad it was. And you never want to cry in business. And I had to swallow tears more than a couple times. And it'll happen with men and women. You know, it doesn't matter. When you are hit below the belt, it's like... But learning from those that you think you can't learn from, that will make you a better you. Always. Always.
That's really good to hear. That's great advice.
I think that's in terms of the good things, I think just being always willing to learn new things. No matter what it is, whether you're in marketing or accounting, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're open and willing to change and being flexible, you'll fit in anywhere.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I think that's the best. And being willing to learn, too. Teachable. Being teachable.
Yeah.
So humble, I guess, goes with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's my dad's always. He has a business partner, and like he's great and he's really smart, and he thinks he's like on top of the world and everything. But that's kind of the problem sometimes is when there's disagreements, and that's caused a lot of problems. And there's times when he gets in his head that he's so right, but when he's clearly so wrong. So it's just kind of like good examples of like he's really smart, knows how to work hard, but then again he gets he's not the most humble at times. So it's just kind of interesting to see the difference between my dad and him and their different strengths and how they work well together and when conflict happens. So yeah, that's exactly right.
It's good that you're observant. A lot of kids your age wouldn't be observing that.
Yeah.
So it shows that you have maturity.
Well, thanks.
And that's good
Appreciate
because everyone has their weaknesses and strengths. And if you can stop and make a list of your weaknesses, not to guilt yourself or not to make yourself feel down, because a lot of people do that.
Yeah. But to figure out like how to improve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you keep doing that, you'll even be better. I
Yeah.
guarantee you that all of these people that you see, like Steve Jobs or just the ones that you really want to listen to because they're so innovative and so amazing, they all talk about their weaknesses.
Yeah.
And how they got out, were able to grow out of that.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's good. Good things. Last thing, just curious, did you plan on going into marketing?
No.
Really?
No. In fact, that's actually a really good story, and I tell my kids this all the time too. My undergraduate degree was international affairs. I was going to solve the world's problems.
Yeah.
I was going to join Peace Corps.
Yeah.
And after I graduated, when you graduate with an international affairs degree, there's not much you can do with it. And I had a lot of debt, school debt.
Yeah.
My parents couldn't pay for my education, so I had to. And that was a private institution, which I also tell people, go to a public or go to wherever it's cheaper, not just because it's got this big, massive name, is it going to be better. It's better to balance your life, and I should have done that. I got a great education, and I don't regret that. But I do tell people I had too much debt.
Gotcha.
So, I realized that it was going to be hard to get a job that would be able to pay the bills. And so I decided to go get my master's. And initially, I started off as a master's in international affairs, thinking I could go into the World Bank, because in D.C. there's all these not-for-profits. And I thought I'd really want to work in development. But part of the program that I was in required me to take business classes. And I did, and I thought, I love this.
Yeah.
And it totally changed me. But I was afraid to do it because I'm not great at math.
Oh, really? I love math. It's kind of strange about me, but yeah. I don't
Good
know.
for
Sorry.
you. No, good for you. That's good. That wasn't my strength.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, there's no way I can do this. And I talked to somebody who said, why are you even worried? You don't have to, know math to do business. And I really believed in that I had to. And sure enough, they were right. I did have to take classes of like statistics and a few other classes, but I managed fine as long as I worked hard. And so it showed me something that you can get out of those weaknesses.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that I went into business.
Yeah.
I love business.
Yeah, me too. It's so much fun. I detail cars, and I teach piano, and I have an ACT prep class. And
Oh my gosh,
so
good for you.
I love business. Like it's so satisfying to
You
turn
have
a
that
profit.
entrepreneur gene.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Well, thank you.
That is great. So you detail cars, and you said what else?
Teach piano, tutor math, and I teach an ACT prep class that I've
Okay,
created.
I'm going to send Saxon to you.
Yeah?
Because I've told him, he is really smart. He keeps telling me, how can I make money? Like, you could tutor easily.
Oh, yeah.
So, can I send him to you?
Yeah.
And then he can ask you questions?
Definitely. In fact, he's on the basketball team, right?
Yeah.
He could run a basketball camp. That was the one thing I
I've
thought
told
of.
him that, too.
Yeah, that'd be a great. Yeah, it was like just take what you're good at and just apply, and market it. And you're great at marketing, so you could help him out there.
And I told him that I'll help you. I'll market you.
Yeah.
It's so easy. See, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
My kids look at me and go, Mom, the
Yeah.
same story over and over. But you look at your parents different than you look at
definitely.
somebody else. So.
Okay, so actually I have a question about so marketing, my ACT prep class. We're doing that again. The first time we did it, so the plan, basically what we wanted to do, we wanted to go through the school and get approved by them to come in class, and because that's where our target market is we could identify segments the more achievable AP classes where people are wanting to do good, wanting to improve their score. So they'd be the ones who wanted to take our class. But we weren't able to get through that. So then we went to social media and referrals, and we got 11 confirmed people to commit to taking our class. While we were expecting 30, however, only one actually showed up.
Oh,
so,
no. How much do you charge?
So it's $95 for
that's
it.
really good.
Yeah, and it's I've gotten a 34 on the ACT, and I got 36 in math and science. So I can, and my other friend got
Good for you.
35, 36 on the other. So together we have a 36 score, so we can help really people use the techniques to get there. Anyways, so yeah, we figured that our main problem was that we marketed through students, that we need to get the parents to commit. Do you have any ideas, or what would you say is the best way to get more students? Because it worked really well. I came on later, and previously what they did is they did it through the school. Without them really asking the administration, they just asked the teachers. So then they told them they couldn't do that anymore. But they were able to get 30 students that way. But
so you're right. It is the parents that you have to target. So just brainstorming here. Social media through parents. Also getting in with teachers who are meeting with parents.
Okay.
So maybe because I'm assuming you were trying to get the school to say, hey, take this class, like a Kaplan class.
Yeah.
Is that what you were doing?
We were wanting to come in and actually go into the classroom and for a teacher and take the first 2 minutes and just give them a spill of what the class was, and then the teacher afterwards be this is awesome, you guys should really do it, I know these students. So that was our plan. That's what worked previously.
Okay.
But we can't do that anymore. So
that makes sense. So usually around, I've got actually a lot of ideas as you say this.
Yeah.
Because my point of view, and this is what I've been telling my kids since they started, and my son got a 36 and my daughter got a 33, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, I started them off in 9th grade.
Yeah.
So I would tell you that you have a bigger market than just, I'm assuming you're doing juniors and seniors?
Yeah, mostly juniors, and the seniors are done. The last test that they could take was December, so now it's juniors, maybe early sophomores.
Right. So I would say expand your market, because if you begin to get a mindset into parents that it's actually better to start off younger, they're more prepared when they get to be a junior. So what I've done is I've told my kids, just keep taking the test, not practice test, but go take the test.
Yeah.
So I've been starting them off 9th grade.
Yeah.
Just go take the test.
Yeah.
And so they'll sit in it and they get an idea of how to do it.
That's perfect, because that's honestly, the more you take it, the better you get at it.
Exactly.
That's exactly
But
what it
that's not what they tell you. And in fact, everyone always says, why are you doing it so early? You're pushing your kids too much. No, it's actually getting them used to in a relaxed environment.
Yeah.
So if you can start changing the idea of parents, now that's kind of a longer term.
Yeah.
So that's a marketing idea that's longer term. Shorter term, if you can get, if you send emails or flyers to the teachers who are talking to the parents, when the parents, I'm assuming that parents will talk to the teachers and say, is my kid ready for the ACT?
Yeah.
Or counselors.
Yeah, counselors. That's the other thing. We're going to they said we could put something up in the counselors, and counselors could recommend us. So that was something we were going to do.
So that's what I would do too. So anyone who's talking to the parent who all of a sudden the parent's realizing, maybe my kid's not going to, get the 27 or, whatever. And there are a lot of kids that, maybe not at Davis, but that are below 20.
Yeah.
And so if you start targeting the counselors, the teachers who are talking to the parents, and at the same time somehow getting social media out to the parents, whether it's Instagram, like all the people that follow you on Instagram. I'm sure you have Instagram. Right?
Yeah.
So you get out there and you start putting your notices out there and little information. So 3 bullet points of information. Why these top 3 things the parent should consider for the kid to start doing your class in 9th grade.
Gotcha.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're changing a mindset.
Yeah, that's really good. And I know my mom has a lot of good connections, like through Facebook, and like I guess you could use like if you could target my sister, my younger sister, her friends. My mom knows all of their parents, so then that's like a really good.
And educate them.
Yeah.
If you educate them instead of trying to sell yourself, then you're gonna win.
Yeah.
If you try to sell yourself, it's more of, oh, well, I'll do him a favor because he's my friend's son. You know? If you educate them and tell them what benefit you can give their kid, then they're going to say, oh, I want this. It's not like a favor. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that is the mindset that you want.
Yeah.
And especially at that price. And that's the other thing is you can educate them at how much these classes cost normally.
Oh yeah, because usually they're like 500s. Yeah.
Exactly. And you should, find out exactly how much it is and compare yourself. This is my price and my class, and this is what you would pay for whatever classes. And we had a young woman that lived with us when we were in Missouri before we moved here. And she was from an African American family, and they had a really rough time financially, and they were in a ward. And so she came in to live with us because her mom had to move, and she wanted to stay in the same school. So I kept telling her over and over again, because she wants to go to BYU, Idaho. You need to just take the test. No, I need to take this course. I need to take the class. You don't need the course. But she insisted that she did. So she's living with my neighbor, my ex-neighbor now, and they decided to put her in the course. So I knew what was going to happen. The course only teaches you the strategies.
Yeah.
In the end,
you just practice.
Exactly.
That's exactly, and that's something we could also model because we have them take 3 practice tests, and because that's what helped us out the most. Because I started at a 29, I moved it up to a 34. So I took probably 10 to 12 tests, including practice tests.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did with our kids. And so if you can track, and again, this is for a little bit longer term, so you may not even be able to do this.
Yeah.
But if you can track, like, with your practice test with students that are taking it, how many points you can get them up, you can sell that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you did it for yourself, and you can sell that. This is what I did. It worked. I went from a 29 to a 34.
Yeah.
And so you've got tangible evidence.
Yeah.
When you have tangible evidence,
that's what convinces people.
And if you say this is how we do it different than Kaplan, or because again, they do all strategy. You realize that it's taking this test over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But you are there, standing there as a tutor or whatever it is, and then you take. I'm assuming you do this just by talking to you. You take these tests that these kids have taken, and you figure out the scores, and then you go, okay, well, you need to do work in math. Okay.
Yeah.
So Kaplan doesn't really do that, or whatever else, what other classes give it. And so all that money that you're throwing into that, and you're not getting any benefit. And sure enough, she went down.
Really?
A score. She went from like a 19 to like a 17. I mean, it was awful. And I told her, I said, you wouldn't listen to me.
You got to take practice tests.
Yeah. And she goes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I just had a quick thought. What if I were to, so like we can't advertise directly like through the school and everything like that. What if we were to organize an ACT prep night, like just at Davis High, and that way you could get multiple ACT prep like classes in there, not necessarily present, but like if I were to organize it and then just be like, if you're like not even mention it, but like talk to your teachers about different prep courses you can make, and then that's when we talk to the teachers. What do you think about that?
I mean, that might work, but again, you're dealing mostly with the kids.
Yeah.
So
well, it'd be AC prep night for the parents.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So you're holding like a a seminar for the
Yeah,
parents to understand.
Yeah.
Now that's creative.
Yeah.
That's out of the box thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing you would have to do is convince the parents that you've got knowledge on this.
Yeah.
So how would you do this? By your scores, and that,
Yeah.
that's hard because you don't want to like flaunt them.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to.
Yeah.
But I mean that's one way to do it. And again, just throwing out your Instagram
Yeah.
or Facebook knowledge.
Gotcha.
Maybe do three different bullet points every time you put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that you could do this if you did this?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that the majority of parents don't have a clue.
Yeah.
They really don't.
Yeah.
The majority. There
That's-
are a few that do, but the majority don't.
Yeah. Gotcha. Makes sense. Well, that's awesome.
You're doing a really great job. I am
Thank you.
seriously going to send Saxon to you.
I'd love that. That'd be awesome. I could just
Yeah.
help them. It'd be fun.
Is it just you who tutors, or?
I'm the only one that tutors and teaches piano, but I have 2 other friends that do the prep class with me.
Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, he's pretty smart. So
yeah.
if you
Oh
need
yeah, maybe.
tutors,
And the thing is, we're thinking about like after we're I'm gonna leave on my mission and things are gonna happen. We're gonna need people to like keep doing the class. So that's why I was thinking maybe just have other people come in and actually teach it while we focus on getting students, and we're not always the one just teaching. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and send me whatever you got. I'm happy to
Yeah.
promote it as well. And if
That'd be
you
awesome.
want to brainstorm, I love stuff like this, so I'd love to
Yeah.
brainstorm with
That'd
you.
be really awesome. Yeah, because
Yeah.
this is fun. This is good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
I took a marketing class last year and I loved it. It's fun. It's one of my favorite parts of business.
It
so,
is. It's
yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you.
thanks.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.